Hey guys, I know it's been a long time. I've not really felt well. All the noise you're hearing is because it's below zero right now, Fahrenheit. So anyway, this is about water piping, a bunch of stuff to where I didn't even know. I should have organized it better. I'm sorry. I have Part A down. There's going to be a Part B. And right now I am thinning out some brass rod I got for and I got to speed it up. Yes, this was a long process for the water pipe coming from the pump going to the lower cylinder heads. And as you can see, I got my mic set, got it where I needed it. I got it really speeded up here. I noticed the block ain't painted yet, so I did this before I even painted the block. So I just kind of held it off the side because I wanted to show other things first. And before I snipped it all, I had to straighten out my sprue cutters, sharpen them again with a file. I cut them so they pinch off flat. Now I'm marking where they go into. There's four holes, and I got it marked on the block. Right now I'm taking some studs, and I know that was quick. I'm making what we call in the insulation biz moon outs, or basically I'm saddling in, see, the pipe so I can solder it. And what I'm doing is marking the bends, and I was so far off on this. I don't know what was with me. I just could not get it right. I know it's way too long, and I know I'm going to have to bend it out a little to clear to get to the water pump. Yeah, hopefully I can bend without breaking, but if I do, I'll do what I'm doing here. Notice I'm not using pins, I'm using bamboo skewers because my wife had my pins. Why? Evil woman. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's my solder, but I ended up changing not the solder, but the flux, because it was burning dirty, and it dirtied up and wouldn't solder again. So I had to clean everything again, not take it apart, but I had to clean everything. And I'm trying to get the upright that goes down, goes up from the pump into the block. And there. And stupidly, I forget it takes a while for solder to do anything, and I keep pulling it off. Oh, who knew? Anyway, there's more on this later. Right now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the water pipe out of the top of the head. So I got sidetracked, and now I'm making the Benz nameplates on both cylinders, front bank and back bank. And I measured them off that little photo I scaled, supposedly. Anyway, to make a I can't even call it. Basically, I'm going to be pressing that down in with my tool by my knuckle. Everything is done off screen because my phone decided to go to narrow view. God, I hate that. So I'm marking where it's at so I can kind of bullseye it with that. And all I do is you just burnish it down. I need, can't call it an arbor because you're actually pushing it into something. I don't know. You guys know what it's called? Because I'm having an old man's day today. Other words, a hiccup. By the way, I just turned 65, so I guess I am an old man today. Actually, it was last Friday. Anyway, that is for them. I put them up. Right now I'm doing the bolt heads, which later on I just decided not to. And I jumped to something else because I need to make the decals for that animal, which I did. I am drilling out for the exhaust valves. The valve stems. Then naturally, when that's all done, now I'm polishing this, and I jumped around so much in this, it wasn't even funny. But this really, really shined it up. It always does anyway, like I'm shocked, right? What I did notice on some of the photos of 1915, 16 or whatever in the United States, that the radiator was pretty well, you can see it in that cover photo on this, of the radiator is not shiny. It is dulled out from corrosion. So I really don't know how much that's a lot of brass to polish on this thing. Now what I'm trying to do is figure out, no, kick that idea. So as I'm thinking, I'm starting to make 8 spark plugs. And I haven't put them on yet. I'm still kind of dealing with them. But I figured, it kind of looks like besides a large gumdrop or a Rupert's drop, I'm going to make spark plugs. The wires this is old time stuff, the wires are clamped onto the end of the plug. As you see in the photos, those are new type plugs. So I don't know. Yep, she came on. Now I did a little stop cut there because I want to drill the hole. We'll see how this works. Drill the hole where the spark plugs go, and then just glue them in. Instead of my gluing on, it'll be actually kind of pinned in. Now I came up with my idea. It was going to be a super pain in the butt. I couldn't find brass, what I needed, so I decided to make the return to the top radiator that goes from the top of the head to the radiator thing. That really helps. The piping for that. And they have 2, I didn't do it all because I don't want it overhanging. I got to make one later. They have 2 natural rubber sleeves to hook them together. There's no, I don't know if they didn't make unions and couplings in brass or in copper. I don't know why they had that in there, other than vibration makes a good sense, because that's all. 4 cylinders aren't exactly vibration free. They usually have to counterbalance them. At least they do now. Sorry for being off screen, but I'm just making the brass, those little, you'll see it's like a broad H pattern, well actually a U, and the square things that you'll see show up here, that is actually the brass fittings that go into the top of the head. It's painted and mounted. You'll see that later, I think. That's why I got part A. And I found some really, really, really good copper paint. It's by Vallejo, but it's their word gaming series. They had this hammered copper. That stuff looks like copper when you're done. Now there's the one that's no thing sticking out the end that goes to the back cylinder, and the one that is sticking out, as you see where my thumb's on it, that one there has another rubber one, and in the middle there's a rubber boot there too. And I had nothing but trouble with that. But right now I'm trying to get it down to the size and somewhat smooth. Boy, I'm out of practice with this. I gotta do more of this. I used to do it all the time. I haven't done it in a long time. So, carving something out of a piece of 60 thousandths card. Or cheap plastic, whatever you want to say. I'm kind of rounding it because it's not straight up. It's kind of a slow arc from the top of the shallow arc, or the arc coming out of the top of the head to the pipe, which is soldered or whatever they did to get it in place. I don't know. And I'm using some to smooth it out, some liquid glue. As you can see, I'm wearing my Work on the Car t-shirt or sweatshirt. Now, what I'm trying to do here is I need the pads for the bolt, the flange for the bolt. So that's what I'm doing here, is trying to get it so it sets. I don't think it went with this, but maybe I did. Yep, I did. It set pretty quick with that Mr. Liquid Glue. Now you can see I got a little bit of a flange there now. Oh yeah, then that ain't enough. I'm doing more sanding to smooth it out more, because it's not sharp edged at all, except for the flanges. That one there was a little long, trimmed it again. Thank God I speeded it up, because you guys would be bored stiff or die of old age, one of the two. Well, I really got that one going. I wish I worked that fast. I'm just smoothing out the piping. That's the flanges. I'm sorry, guys. That was the to make them taller, because they were setting flat. I'm sorry. Now I'm using some hex bolts, a rod. I'm gonna use super glue, or use glue and use tube glue testers and some Plastistruck liquid glue. It makes a strong bond, actually. You go more towards the liquidy side, but the tube glue fills in the gaps. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Now, I might have to remake this. This is the plug wire holder. It's actually a tube. They passed it through. They did this on World War I aircraft, the Germans did. And now I'm hand drilling. I need a big one because all 4 wires come up from the 2 mags. And one's left mag, or one's front and one's back mag, or left and right, however they decide to go with it. Now I'm marking out where I'm drilling holes. Let me see here. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Yep, there that is. Now I'm marking, thinking, yeah, this will help. I needed to drill using my like a punch to so I can drill it, and I decided to put some tape on it so it quit moving. Now I got to drill all 8 holes. There that is. Because I think I know I sprayed them the aluminum tubing for the and painted it red. I'm thinking it's in this video, but I'm not sure. I'm doing with some PVC tape, and that's what it is, PVC tape. It isn't electrical tape. Now I'm mixing up that brick brown, brick red. Now I'm back to that. My first signs were not long enough, and I couldn't get my printer or my program to print that small. This is very, very small, as you can see. And I had to go back and actually reprint them smaller because scale-wise it wasn't, the number was too big. So that's why I done that. And what you didn't see there right now is, notice I'm shining it. I'm using that Dremel thing to shine up that so it's shiny, whatever it is. This is actually, it shouldn't corrode at all because this is nickel. This is a strip of nickel. And we use that, not that you need to know, but there's Benz. Putting some solution of white glue and water. And I got the decal thing slid off. And then I noticed that, and you probably won't see that because I just did it off camera, was I got a little too fancy with the lettering. I just had to go with a black outline. I couldn't make it look like, because it just disappeared. You had to really look. I wanted me to see that it says Benz. There's the chrome. Actually, you can see it's out of sequence, so. I'm using gold for the brass, shiny brass. And I had to let it sit. I'm doing the ignition wire holder. I never got the other valves painted yet, so I thought I better get that done. Yeah, that's all shined up. Now the copper's dry. I'm using Vallejo gold. I have brass, but it's looks more like old brass. So I'm doing that. Obviously, you never paint, hopefully, where it's at. Anyway, that's the end of this one. I'll be making the flywheel on that soon. Thanks.